Welcome back to Killer Fun, where we explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week. I'm Christy, and today we have our final set of outtakes for this summer hiatus. We have so much fun content for you. Don't you worry. We don't leave you hanging. When we go on vacation, we have fresh new content for you, and I'm excited to bring you outtakes from Dead Boy Detectives, the fun show about sweet forgotten ghosts who are just trying to make sure other people aren't forgotten. Bodkin, the fictional story about a serial killer in Ireland. I mean, how fun is that? Outtakes from our episode on Anatomy of a Fall, the Oscar winner, that really doesn't have a clear conclusion, which I kind of love. And Hitman, the super fun, super funny, really quite untrue in a lot of ways, but also very true in some surprising ways, story of the real hitman who was just pretending to be a hitman in order to launch sting operations, Gary Johnson. First up, the Dead Boy Detectives. We have flubs, of course. We always have flubs. We always make mistakes. I leave the funny ones here. We talk about how comic books diverged away from superheroes about the time that Dead Boy Detectives got its nexus in comic books and how much fun that was. We have some technical worries. We talk about Edwardian London and where do dreams come from. Enjoy.
I didn't realize how this was not what am I trying to say? Hold on. Wait. Recatalog and reopen. It's like my brain crashed. It needs to be like rebooted. Hold on.
See, and I read all the time back then. And that's when, kind of like in the early 90s, is when comic books started to veer away from simply superhero stories. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of really interesting. The Sandman was one that was very popular, and then there were lots of other different kinds of stories, and they've been telling a lot of queer stories and stuff started coming out, and that was kind of like people's first oh, hey, gay people are just like everybody else, and these two girls in love have the same sort of relationship issues that anybody else does, and it was kind of interesting, and I don't know. It was kind of a new dawn in comic books that branched out and were wider, and Prince had comic books.
Yeah. I mean, I remember them being around. I just was so not connected.
You were, no. Yeah. That seems like the kind of nerdy that you were not.
You know, it's weird. I say that, but a lot of my friends, a lot of my closer friends were 100% into anime and that whole world and comic books.
Okay.
So I would engage with some of it and be completely disengaged from others.
Oh.
Right? So some of the anime, we sit around and watch that. And I can listen to people talk about it. But it wasn't enough. Because I enjoy listening to anybody talk about almost anything. Right? But the second it's done, I'm like, I don't remember a thing. I don't know what they said. I can't repeat it anywhere else. That was interesting in the moment. I was really engaged, and that was fun. And turn TV off now. Boom.
Okay.
Done. Yeah, it was kind of interesting. But I'd had a lot of friends I hung out in comic book stores and with people. Completely disengaged from the entire world of it.
Interesting.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And that was great. I didn't mind being there. And I didn't mind. They also played Rage, was their game a lot. Magic too and D&D too, but Rage was their biggest thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I sat through a lot of games.
Yeah. Yeah. I was adjacent to a lot of Magic the Gathering games.
Yeah. Yeah, some Magic. The group that I was friends with, Rage, was that.
That was their thing.
100%.
See, I don't even know that one at all.
Yeah, I don't think
it may have been a little. Maybe a little after my time.
I don't know. It may have just had a peak in popularity, but I don't even know that it ever really hit.
Okay.
I think it had peaks in places.
Okay.
I don't know that it ever, because it never became like magic at all.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like people in our own high school would be like, Rage? What's that? Like nobody really. So it really had like niche little pockets, but then everybody still knew who magic or what magic was and what D&D and, had LARP weekends and, Chris Atlanta has Dragon Con, so it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, but
Okay. I just didn't remember the little green play arrow also be, but I guess that was just me not realizing.
Oh.
Because I'm like, is it screwed up? Isn't something? No,
we see sound waves.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, and I was worried it's the play. Maybe there was some other
like something playing in the background. Yeah.
Oh, like no.
What is happening? No, we're good.
It was Richard. No, it was written, not Richard. It was Richard.
It was Richard.
It was written by Rudyard Kipling.
Maybe it helps if we have it.
I don't know. Is that there not enough
in
alcohol
English.
or too much alcohol in my coffee?
First of all, not enough, and second of all, just kidding. I think maybe the British accent would help.
Okay. Well, I could do it as well as Kirby. Of course, she grew up that way, so that's not fair. Technically, it would go until his death when he, I don't know if he died. So Edwin went to boarding school in Edwardian London, 1916. Was 1916 in the Edwardian time period?
I did not think so.
Okay.
I was like, interesting.
That's what I thought.
But
too.
then I thought, well, wait, we're not talking about kings, are we? And then I was like, well, hold on, not the Edwardian I'm thinking of. And then I thought, well, maybe they mean the fashion, the fashion stage. And then I gave up.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that I wasn't the only one who questioned it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, that's after Victorian, but what came after Victorian? No. It actually does have to do with the king. So technically, the narrowest definition of the Edwardian era is when Edward VII was king from 1901 to 1910. That's the narrowest definition. Now
this was Edward VII.
Yes.
This is what I didn't look up.
Right.
Because immediately I was like, not the Edward I'm thinking of.
Right.
Where's the other Edwards?
Yeah.
I'm trying to trace it forward.
Yes, the little royal figure thing.
Yes.
So he became a sort of prominent royal figure in about 1880. So that's when some people start the Edwardian era. Technically, that would go until the end of his reign in 1910, but some people push it out to 1914 when World War I started. A lot of people also include all of World War I.
Okay.
So that would have, it's in the non-technical era of Edwardian England. Some people even push it all the way to the years following armistice to about 1924, because that's really when the modern era of Britain started.
Right, like culture changed.
Right.
And until that time, it was still the culture of King Edward.
Right.
The Seventh.
Yes. So the whole war really mucks things up.
Yeah.
You know. So not really, but kind of.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's funny is we dream from there. Not from the default mode necessarily, but our dreams come from like that part of our brain. Like
really?
Like
That's
the
so interesting.
like the hind brain and mid brain.
Oh, good.
The REM, like sleep. This is where it's like active.
It's all our lizard brain.
Not weird. It's weird because dreaming is something that's like evolutionary, right? You have to be more evolved to be able to dream, and yet it's the least like the first evolved parts of our brain that actually contribute.
Because our dogs dream.
Yeah. So you have to be evolved somehow. But I think it's funny that then it's facilitated by something.
I think that, that's less evolved.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I've always wanted to dig more into that, but I haven't.
That's because it takes research money to do it.
It does. I mean, I could just go read, but there's other interesting things to read too.
Yeah.
So.
Next up, our outtakes from Bodkin, the super fun show set in Ireland about a serial killer. We talk about Susie Eddie Izzard, how it's not Irish Halloween. Just because some of our traditions are based in it doesn't make it Irish Halloween. And we talk about crime rates. Enjoy. Robin Cara's Emmy, the researcher. She's also done a lot of UK TV, Trying, The Rising. She was also in Dr. Jekyll with Susie Eddie Izzard.
Yes.
Which I'm like,
I should
Eddie
watch
Izzard.
that because I
know.
haven't seen it and I love Eddie Izzard.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I have been a fan forever.
Yes.
I mean,
Forever.
okay, so Dressed to Kill was the first major hit like comedy show that he had that was like on, it was a Comedy Central Presents kind of
Right.
thing. That's, distinctly remember sitting with my dad in the living room and a friend, and we're just flipping through the channels because you could do that, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, because they flipped pretty quick.
Yeah.
Flipping through, and he pops on the screen, and dad has the clicker, the clicker.
Yeah.
And he stops because it's striking.
Yeah.
And it took literally 15 seconds. And we were dying laughing.
Aww.
And it was towards the beginning, and we watched the entire thing.
Aww.
And we all became, this is genius.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So is it true? Let me try that again. Because I know that's not going to be a good. Okay.
A good take. Okay.
It's not really correct to call it Irish Halloween.
Yeah, but
it is. But our Halloween traditions have taken some aspects of Samhain.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it kind of derived from, rooted in.
Yeah, exactly. So
But they got food?
They got like food, not like
candy. Don't get me wrong, I like some candy, but I like food.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, could you imagine doing this and like getting like tapas little plates of like real food?
Yeah. Like you go and they're like, oh, would you like a little slice of the shepherd's pie?
Oh my God, like just dress me up now. Like that sounds amazing.
Yes. All the things. Deliciousness.
It does make it harder to actually then be the person out to give it.
Well, you wouldn't go very many places,
No.
right? And you would probably go to places with people you knew.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like almost
guess.
like those roaming part where you have the progressional parties where you go to one person's house for appetizers and one
Yes,
person's
a progressive
house
dinner.
Yes, there we go.
Yes, but like you instead of buying big bulk candy to give out, now you have to actually do something.
Well, when there's only 260 people in the
That's
town and
true.
not everybody's doing it, then
Yeah.
it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But this is just fated for just as fated. No, I just made up a word. Adjusted for like East St. Louis, Illinois. It has 926% more violent crimes than the average rate for the entire United States.
That's like bananas.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most dangerous one that they have. Now, some of these are, I don't think that they're far away. Like East St. Louis, it's in Illinois. It might be close. I didn't look it up. I should have. But it might be close to Chicago. Right? So what we think of as Chicago, it might be like not exactly Chicago.
A metro area thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just interesting. Like, what are they? They're controlling, they're saying per capita.
Right.
That's what they're trying to say. They're saying per capita.
So, yes, in a big city, you're going to have more murders. You're going to have more robberies. You're going to have more things. That doesn't necessarily mean statistically that it's actually a more dangerous place to live.
Right.
Because if it's a smaller portion of your population,
right,
then it's actually...
I mean, clearly, yes. But also I have to think like, as far as like delivering safety data to somebody to give them like an insight, what is causing it?
Yeah.
Like what's causing it? Because yeah, there might be some smaller towns you don't want to go to because there's something significant happening there, but like that makes it a very different place than like a large city where you have a lot of people who are living normal lives and encountering a certain level of violent crime versus like a small city known for its cartels.
Right. That's fair.
I mean, because you're not visiting there. Nobody's really just living there.
Right.
If the cartels are in control or if gangs are in control, like, you know, like you wouldn't put now, sadly, you wouldn't say like, oh, well, Haiti's the worst.
Right.
No, you would say that's a whole different category because there's like a coup going on.
Right. Yeah. There's all kinds of things.
There's all kinds of something.
Extenuating circumstances.
Yeah. So like, I wonder like of cities that don't have like large influence, you know, of some sort.
Right.
Like a regular operating, you know, economy is decent, you know, kind of city. They have all the normal things there, like, you know, a library and maybe a university or a college, you know, things that like make it typical.
Right.
Sure. I wonder if that would change it. I don't know.
Right.
Like, I'm interested to know more, like what makes this city so, like this East Illinois or East St. Louis, East St. Louis, so dangerous. Like, what is happening there?
Yeah. I mean,
like,
probably something.
Clearly. I feel like
something's happening
Something is happening there. Maybe there's a show about that.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. Maybe I need to go look and find one.
Find it.
I don't know if I want to talk about it though, because that's sad. That's a big bummer.
It's really sad. Oh man.
And wolves and airwolves.
Airwolf. that's a different thing.
That's a different thing entirely. So all of the sources that we use to inform our discussion here on Killer Fun Podcast can be found on our social media. Join us on Facebook at Killer Fun Podcast, exploring the intersection of crime and entertainment. You can find us on Twitter at Killer Fun Pod, or you can send us an email at killerfunpodcast@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to share a link to whatever information you're looking for. We love to hear from you. You might learn a little something too. Next up, Anatomy of a Fall. Man, we just loved this movie. It was like quiet and slow, but in such an intentional and moving way. Man, we really liked this movie. We talk about how maybe we should be taking photos of the weird things that happen in our lives. I think that's probably like good advice in general, but we don't always think to do it. So yeah, that you see that weird thing? Yeah, take a picture of it. And filming locations, and gosh, how worried we were for that little boy who was low vision, just, you know, traipsing around the French Alps. I mean, good for him, but we were concerned. Enjoy. Samuel tumbles from an apple. From an apple?
I know that there's people here who are psychics who aren't considered like scams, right?
Sure.
But also
there are quote unquote psychics who are scammers.
Yeah.
You know, I've read about that where they have the little ball of hair that when they break the neck, break the neck. Ooh. That's totally wrong. They don't break your neck.
If you have like a WTF moment, maybe take a picture of that.
Okay.
Right. Like I think I do that a little bit.
Okay.
But also sometimes it's just to show my friends. Look. But you never know. I guess maybe that would be helpful. Like, did I take a picture of what I pulled out of the kid's drain? Sure did.
Oh, ooh.
Because I needed Google Lens to tell me what was going on. That was a fantastic search, let me tell you.
Oh.
Toothpaste, that's all though.
Oh, thank goodness.
It was very, very, very benign. Toothpaste. They're using too much toothpaste.
Okay.
Done. Easy. Look how easy that was, though.
Yeah.
But I took a picture of it.
That's right. Uh-huh.
And I probably should delete it now because it's really gross.
So. But it was filmed all over France, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It was filmed in Savoie and the little chalets and La Crevasse, the town of Isère. served as Grenoble, but they
Okay.
actually did film in
Oh,
Grenoble
okay.
for a few seasons. All the courtroom scenes were in Charente-Maritime. There was a few little things in Paris. So it was pretty recognizable, and it's all beautiful.
It was very gorgeous. But when that boy was walking along the snowy cliff with the dog,
Yeah.
I was not breathing
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
until he got his foot on that bridge. And then I finally was like, I was like, he is so close to certain death. If this was a video game, I would have killed him. I wouldn't have made it across that
the bridge.
It
Yeah.
looked Nintendo hard. I was like, not okay. I was not okay during that scene.
I had an idea of what was happening, so I was like, I don't know that I would just let my kid, roam the French Alps.
I mean, I would definitely have some restrictions. He does have the dog.
Yeah.
But that doesn't prevent him on an icy cliff with no barrier from slipping.
Yeah.
The dog is not a giant dog
No.
that can just stand their ground and pull him up.
No.
I mean,
Snoop's a little guy.
Snoop's a little guy. He's so cute. He's siesta giggle.
So Sandra and Daniel, no, never mind. That's the next one. The piece was called by Hans von Daniel went to school in France, spoke France at school, spoke France. And last up, our outtakes from Hitman. Flubs, of course. We talk about public transportation in our city, where it's good, where it lacks. Jackie Wiggles. And do cats get jealous? Enjoy. So Glenn Powell plays Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson?
Yep. And well, San Antonio doesn't have. The city does not have.
I mean, they've got the buses, but even then, they're not super reliable. They try really hard.
They try.
But, I did notice I had to go to the medical center where there's
Right.
lots of medical facilities. That's why they call it the medical center.
Yeah, right.
Shocker. But I noticed while I was there that the bus stops there are really nice.
I bet.
And that the bus stops, like in other places where I'm thinking people actually really need the buses a lot, they're really crummy.
Yeah, they're crummy.
And I was like, it needs to be a little more uniform, I think.
It's just hard. They're going to put money where they can because they can't redo the whole system.
I know.
I do appreciate that a lot of our buses are electric. That
Yes.
helps. So,
Yes.
you're going to find that in the medical center, especially because you have a lot of medical students, you have a lot of medical personnel who
Sure.
live in the apartments and live in the neighborhoods right around there, and they will take the public trans.
Right.
But we don't have anything. For instance, from where I am, if I had to take the bus to a place that takes me typically 15 minutes to drive to, it's going to take me about, on average, 45 to 50 minutes on a bus route.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a big city. We literally have more people than Boston.
Yeah.
How? But, monorail. That's what we're going to have to do.
I mean,
monorail.
I wish.
I'm putting it into the
Yeah.
ethos.
Yeah, you're going to.
Monorail.
That's right.
Yes.
Put it out into the universe and
Yes.
hopefully the universe will deliver.
Yeah, well, or my District 1 council
Oh,
woman.
there you go.
All right, let's get on it. Girl, come on. Monorail, that is a tourist thing. You put monorail as our main form of public trans? Yes, bring the tourists.
I don't really quite understand what Glenn Powell.
The
I wrote
actor?
Gary Powell. It's Gary.
Which one?
Gary Powell and Gary Johnson.
No, Glenn Powell.
It's Glenn
Gary
Powell and Gary Johnson. I mean Glenn Powell.
the actor.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me try that again.
I'm just gonna wiggle.
That's fine.
That's
That's also fine.
Position myself to be able to wiggle more.
That's fine.
Because if I sit up more like on the edge, then I'll move.
Yeah.
That'll be better. Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully less loud. I won't be hitting things. I'm like smacking the desk.
It's fine.
Like, oh, Lord.
It's totally fine. I'll just repeat myself and it'll be fine. It's no big deal, really.
I know.
But see, at
That's
least we
fine.
know you're doing it, because the worst thing is when I hate when I like.
Oh,
hit
it's
one of
just a
these,
smidge.
and it's like I don't know that I've done it, and I
Right.
just keep talking, but you can hear it on that really bad.
Yes.
All right. So, do jealous cats smother babies? Madison wondered about this. She said she
Okay,
didn't
yeah.
get cats in.
I mean, who really does? But I mean, okay, I remember being pregnant and I had a cat. And she could have some moods. And I remember people telling me to be very wary about the cat jumping into the cradle or into the crib or whatever and smothering the baby. What I heard more often was it would be an accident.
Yes.
Because the cats are cuddly with the little ones. And so sitting on your kitten, fine. I don't know why. I don't know why kittens don't smother to death, but they do. They like herd them all underneath and, there's kittens buried among kittens. But like that they might jump in and like, accidentally.
There you go.
Okay.
So, you're correct. Cats.com talked to veterinarian Dr. Emma Rogers Smith about this very thing. And she basically said, cats do have emotions, but jealousy is a pretty complex emotion that we are unable to determine if cats actually feel in the same way that we understand it. So it's pretty complex. It might be a little more simple for the cats that way.
Yeah.
And, if signs of stress might be that they're grumpy or they're not using their litter box or they have a change in their appetite or they're scratching furniture.
Yeah.
Things that are out of the ordinary for them. And it is possible for your cat to act negatively towards your newborn.
Oh, for sure. For sure. They can. I mean, they
Right.
can be, it's a life change. It's a whole, your attention changes. The whole dynamic changes.
Right.
It's also, what is this thing and why is it crying? And so but a jealousy,
Yeah, that's
no.
that's a bit
Cats
much.
aren't hitmen.
No, they are not. They are not gonna like smother your baby for some kibble.
Now, they might eat your face if you die,
This is true.
but
This is true. You know what? I saw a video of a guy he had cats and dogs, and he pretended to die. And the dog kept trying to wake him up. And the cats literally after about 10 minutes were chewing on his nose and ears.
it's really weird.
They were like, do you taste good?
Oh, well.
But the cats aren't going to plot to kill your babies. They're not it might be accidental, as you said. They might like the way the baby smells.
Yeah.
They would like that the baby is warm. It could be accidental. So you want to do things like you want to keep the cat out of the place where the baby sleeps. And you should start doing that before the baby comes home so that they get used to being closed out of somewhere they maybe had access to in the past. They might not smother your baby, but they could give your baby a parasite. So you want to be careful of making sure that things are particularly clean, like toxoplasmosis, or
especially if they go
fleas and
outside.
ticks. Yes,
If they're indoor cats,
less
less
of
likely. But if
Even
they're
still.
indoor outdoor kind of cats, you need to be more careful about that.
Yeah. And you do want to be careful of bites and scratches because they can get infected pretty easily.
Yes, they can.
So you want to make sure that you're taking care of that sort of thing, but they're not going to intentionally kill your baby. So personality today. No, that's not right. Should hitmen be classified as serial killers?
That's a good question. Or
They thought that living dangerously wasn't really promoting immoral, or unethical behavior. God, let me say that again because I just did not do well with that.
Oh, good.
They thought Yeah, I should have had another cup of coffee with Kahlua in it. Damn. At least I wouldn't care that I was talking badly.
It's all good. It's all good.
That is it for today and for our Outtakes episode here in the summer of 2024. We will be back with you from our hiatus next time with the Netflix limited series, Eric. A father is grief-stricken when his son goes missing. So, all the trigger warnings for a missing child, but it's so interesting and we really can't wait to dive into this Benedict Cumberbatch show and kind of check it out and have some ideas about how he feels and what he's going through and what is the crime and are there related things, what we do, the is it true psychology break in real life. We'll go into all of that next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. We know you make a choice to listen to us. We don't just come on the radio. You download us and take us on whatever adventure or mundane thing you're doing. We're happy to be with you as you go hiking or clean bathrooms or anything in between, all the fun things that you might be doing or the things that you might be doing that are a little less fun. We really appreciate it. Hey, tell a friend because it's so much more fun when you can listen and then talk about it with a friend. Do reach out to us on the social media. And until next time, when we talk about Eric, be safe, be kind, and wash your hands.
Da, da, da.